Boom. Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Stock Talk, series where we cover exciting news and price action on a few stocks that are exciting me personally at the moment. Today, as you all know, we will be taking a look at some EV plays. There's a lot going on in this sector from both a fundamental and technical perspective. So we do have a lot to cover. We're getting straight into it. As always, we'll quickly go over all of the topics we'll be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, the usual is TradingView, where we will be talking technicals and price targets, sticking strictly to the daily candles today, keeping it a little bit more zoomed out, a little bit more macro on the following names in this order, going down the watch. So you can see right here, kicking it off with the beautiful new ticker symbol, that is LCID. We have been following this one, Lucid Motors, for a long time, you guys, and it feels good to finally be taking a look at it on the watches on TradingView, sharing it with all you guys, and talking good old price action because I am bullish ahead. We came out of the gates hot, so a little pullback today. But I want to talk to you guys about my more medium, maybe even long-term price targets for LCID. Because along with the rest of this sector, I'm very, very confident in, again, the medium-term price action in all of these names today, even if we do see a little bit of short-term volatility, okay? So Lucid, kicking off with LCID in terms of articles we have to cover. I have two short ones to go over with you guys. So first one, The Verge, Lucid Motors goes public, collects $4.5 billion. The latest EV startup SPAC merger is also the biggest. Love to see that. So the primary reason I wanted to cover this one is just to kind of preface the video and reinforce the fundamental bullishness in all of us. If you guys are bullish on CCIV, of course, I know I am, by taking a look at the Lucid Air, this beautiful luxury vehicle that they are planning to roll out in the second half of this year. We will kick it off with just a single paragraph from this. Again, the main reason I wanted to talk to you guys about this paragraph is very important, of course, but wanted all of us to take a look at this beautiful vehicle. Once again, to reinforce that bullish sentiment from a fundamental perspective, from the actual luxury vehicle perspective. That makes me bullish on Lucid in the first place, okay? This article, though, is a lot more tangibly bullish, I'll say, okay? So CNBC, Lucid Motors CEO says EV startup is in an enviable position as stock pops in its debut. So we will go over a few statements here from the CEO. Really like this, really reinforces, again, if this reinforces the fundamental bullishness, this really does as well. You always want a team that's bullish on their own company. And again, this is the biggest merger that has happened in the EV sector. So it's kind of tough to not be bullish as CEO. I'd be disappointed if the CEO was anything but believing that him and his company is in an enviable position. So we'll read through this, take a look at the charts after that. After we take a look at Lucid on the charts, we will talk Tesla. It's been a long time since we've talked good old TSLA on the charts on this channel, but we're talking Tesla. In terms of news, Tesla did just report earnings, and they actually smoked their earnings. They crushed their earnings. Tesla reports more than $1 billion in net income during Q2, up tenfold from a year ago. So their year-over-year net income, 10x. We will take a look at these. We'll take a look at a few numbers here. Very, very bullish for Tesla. It did pop a little bit in after hours yesterday, which was Monday. I'm recording this on Tuesday today. As you can see, the entirety of not only this sector, but pretty much the entire market saw a pullback today. It was kind of tough to find any green ticker symbol on my entire watch list of like 100 stocks today, which is very rare. I can't really remember the last time that happened, but regardless, as I said, even if we do see some short-term volatility in many of these names, I'm still very, very medium-term bullish, and that will become more and more evident as we take a look at these charts and I rationalize kind of the technicals that I'm seeing personally, okay? So Tesla, move on to NIO after that. With NIO, we do have this complimentary article as well. So this is titled by the Motley Fool, John Rosevar, why NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto stocks are falling today. Okay, so as many of you know, NIO is hailed as the Tesla of China. We followed NIO a lot. Probably about a year ago now is when we were covering NIO a lot. Like, it's crazy to see how far NIO's come. In all honesty, at these current levels, NIO is you could say it's overvalued. I personally believe it's overvalued. If you think that's wrong, that's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to push that judgment on any of you. But in my opinion, NIO is definitely overvalued right now. I've followed this stock for a long time, you guys. I've traded NIO since it was like $3-4. So it's just ludicrous in my eyes seeing the levels NIO's at. And with all of the kind of regulatory uncertainty that's currently happening in China, which this article does touch on, which we will read over, because it's very important to understand not only for these Chinese EV automakers, but for many Chinese-based stocks that trade on the U.S. markets. Okay, so this is important just from an overall fundamental perspective if you guys are trading any Chinese stocks at the moment. But again, this kind of just these negative optics surrounding Chinese stocks in U.S. equity markets is definitely dampening the price action of plays like NIO, XPeng, and Li. Okay, so we'll take a read. We'll take a look over this. We will dive into NIO on the charts, and then we're going to go straight into Hyliion. No complimentary articles for Hyliion today. I'm just really bullish on that stock right now. I think the asymmetric risk profile of Hyliion is absolutely beautiful. And I want to share with you guys my thoughts on Hyliion at the moment. And then we'll close it out with a play that I know all of you, I shouldn't say all of you, it's definitely not all of you, that's why, but many of you have been definitely the most asked about, is ALYI. So obviously ALYI, or alternate systems, has been lagging for a long time now, and I've been saying this in the newsletter a lot. I'm sorry I haven't touched on it on the channel maybe enough for some of you guys. I talk about it in the newsletter all the time, but alternate systems, pretty much to sum this up, I'm not going to be bullish on this company, at least in the short term. They still have so much long-term potential if they properly execute on all of the claims they're making and the vision they have in place. Definitely, like, nothing's unchanged. This is a young project. Things take a lot of time, especially when they're in the beginner phases of developing these ventures, okay? But ALY, still long-term potential once again if they do successfully execute on their vision. Short-term, I need to see some freaking bikes, and that's why this is very potentially bullish. So ALY confirms upcoming electric motorcycle pilot report. This is happening on this Thursday, on the 29th, okay? So in this, which we will read over, they do claim that they will be sharing some photos and videos. Very, very exciting, potentially exciting there. This better not be, I mean, if this is not impressive, I'm going to be very, very disappointed, okay? But if it is, I'm going to 100% flip bullish on the flip of a dime, okay? So very excited to read over this. We will close it out with ALY on the charts, although it's pretty much useless covering ALY on the charts just because there's nothing going on. But we will definitely read over this article, and I'll just close out the video with my current thoughts on ALYI. Pretty much just summed them up there, if I'm being completely honest, but we'll talk about it more at the end, and just about the EV ecosystem, the EV sector as a whole as we close out the video, all right? As always, though, before we do dive into all of the good stuff, housekeeping time, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you are invested, trading, or just bullish in general on any of the stocks we're talking about. Let me know if there's any EV plays in here that you're a fan of, that you think I'm missing, that you want me to cover in the future. Down in the comments, let me know what your favorite name is, what you have the biggest bag of the names we're covering today down below as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this. Don't only cover EVs, covering crypto looking very exciting right now, crypto looking a little sus at the same time. So I'm excited to see how these next few days play out, not only for the EV sector but for cryptocurrencies as well. And of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. This is a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio. Every single position in my portfolio is in this course curriculum. So complete breakdown of all my call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions, which I do update every single trading day during market hours, explaining my thoughts with the trades that I made that day, how I'm sizing my positions, how I'm sizing my trades. And of course, with every single update, I do send out a comprehensive newsletter explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades, throwing some real-time charts and price targets in there for you guys, and letting you guys know whatever I think is important during actual market hours, okay? So $15 a month, 15 bones per month if you guys want to sign up for this, or $40 every 3 months, to each their own, whichever you feel is better. That's going to be the first link down in the description. And then again, you get a complete update in the course curriculum, complete portfolio. I do update the daily newsletter. I upload the PDF into the course curriculum as well every day after I send it out. And then you also get the exclusive Sunday Stock Watch. So I did actually cover like a couple of these articles. I think I definitely covered this in the exclusive Sunday Stock Watch episode. And that's why, sorry you guys, I do forget to include some plays that I know are important to you guys in the channel sometimes, because I cover him a decent amount in the newsletter, and again sometimes in the Sunday Stock Watches, and I kind of forget when I haven't made one like an analysis very public. So we will be covering this today, but again, you guys get the exclusive Sunday Stock Watch as well. Want to make this as worth it for you guys as I can. I truly do believe I do, because I work pretty hard at it. So it means a lot if you guys check this out. Once again, First link down in the description. If not, no worries at all. I appreciate your time, your eyeballs. Right now, let's dive in to Lucid. But first, we will go over some of these articles, okay? Because this is all very fundamentally bullish. Then we'll solidify the fundamental bull argument with the technical bull argument afterwards. Electric vehicle startup Lucid Motors is now a publicly traded company following the completion of a merger where it fetched an eye-watering $4.5 billion in fresh capital. Shares of the Saudi-owned California-based startup began trading on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange Monday morning. So in all honesty, you guys, this is something that I do feel like is important to touch on really quickly at least. Saudi-owned can come with some red flags. But I was actually just talking to someone in my Discord about this. Shout out to you, you know who you are. But we're talking to Discord about the fact that this is Saudi-owned. I was saying, politics aside, because Saudi politics a little sus, okay? That's objectively true in my opinion, okay? From a humanitarian perspective, politics arguable. But from a funding perspective, they have very, very deep pockets. And actually, like MBS was just talking about the book Blood and Oil today, which actually covers the story of MBS and how he's planning to build this super futuristic city in the Middle East. And the fact that Lucid, which is a luxury vehicle startup, and like think about Dubai, think about like an even more futuristic Dubai. It's so reasonable and so like it makes sense to me, especially considering this is Saudi owned, that you would see the streets flooded with these in a future city like this. And obviously this is 5, 10, maybe even 20 years down the road. But again, you're playing the long term here. This is a very, very exciting, promising long-term play in my opinion. We are traders. The short term does matter a lot, but from a long-term perspective, this is a very, very potentially lucrative trade with a lot of potential down the road from here, okay? So I did just want to let you guys know that because Saudi-owned, we have read that a couple times now on the channel, and I just wanted to address my general thoughts on that, okay? So let's move on to some of the CEO statements, key points. Lucid Motors is now trading on Wall Street after completing the SPAC. Ticker LCID, the stock jumped about 10% in its first hours of trading. The company expects to deliver its first electric vehicles, the Lucid Air, in the second half of this year. We're there, you guys. So these should be coming soon. I want to see some of these bad boys on the road. Again, let's just admire this. You guys, if this is the only picture you've seen of the Lucid Air so far, go Google these because the other colorways are that much sicker in my opinion, okay? So let's read some of the CEO's statements. Lucid Motors began trading Monday, jumped about 10% to more than $26. Not there anymore, but I think we're going back and even higher. The equity value of the deal paid existing company shareholders $11.75 billion. It also generated over $4 billion. Sorry guys, I have to burp. Excuse me. It also generated over $4 billion in cash for expansion plans, including Lucid's current factory in Arizona. The funding puts Lucid in a very enviable position compared to the rival Tesla, which secured about $226 million in its 2010 initial public offering. Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson said Monday on Squawk Box the ex-Tesla engineering executives said the merger secures Lucid's financial runway through the end of 2022. Remember this, you guys. Peter Rawlinson is ex-Tesla engineering executive. This guy knows what he's doing when it comes to engineering electric vehicles. Okay, quote, "We do have a very illustrious roster of blue chip institutional investors, but we've attracted so much interest from the retail sector as well," Rawlinson said. Quote, "It's a testament to the appeal of our product and our technology that we've enjoyed that position. The reverse merger was approved in an extended vote by more than 99% of company shareholders," Klein said in a conference call Thursday. The deal, which valued Lucid at an initial pro forma valuation of $24 billion, was the largest among similar transactions involving EV companies and blockchain firms. Previous SPAC deals with EV startups such as Nikola Fisker and Lordstown Motors earned valuations of less than $4 billion. So, again, the fact that this was initially valued at $24 billion, now valued at a whopping $42 billion. Huge SPAC, you guys. This is, again, a staggering market cap in all honesty, considering they do not yet have any vehicles on the road. But, again, the stock market, especially in this current state where there's so much retail driven, there's so many, like story stocks. In all honesty, I've been saying this since we kind of came out of that Black Swan event in March of 2020, started ripping again. Story runs the market, you guys. Like sentiment, investor sentiment, optics, story runs the market. That's the reality of our market environment. Although valuations do matter, especially in kind of times and financials matter in terms of determining fair valuation, the PE ratio, the price to earnings ratio. That matters in my mind, but in reality, especially once again in this current market where there's so much just goddamn hot capital flying all over the place, It doesn't matter that much. And that's the reality. I don't agree with it, but that's just how things are playing out, okay? And you got to adapt to the times, all right? So, Lucid, from a technical perspective, again, very fundamentally bullish right now. I hope you guys feel the same way. Let me know what you think about Lucid's valuation and from a fundamental perspective down below if you have anything worth saying, I guess. But from a technical perspective, once again, we will stick to the daily candles just because I want to keep this one a little more macro, have it a little more, keep it relevant for a little longer for any of you guys who may be watching a few days later or even a week later or something, okay? So right now, again, this was the first day Lucid went public on the NASDAQ, okay? So gapped up. We're up about like 13% at one point in the trading day. Really kicked off the day strong. Seeing nice volume here. Love to see this volume coming back. Today, we sold off, but what didn't in the market today? If you guys didn't have a position, not financial advice, none of this is, but if I didn't have a position, this would be a very, very promising corrective opportunity. Pick up at a discount. You guys know the rules. Corrections present opportunities. Good day to bag up potentially, but I have a very, very significant position. I lost a bag today, but that's okay because I still think we're going up. Where do I think we're going? So my initial price target, okay? And keep in mind, you guys, this applies to every chart we're going to be looking at today. These price targets are completely dependent on when my lines of resistance are struck, okay? So today we did confirm we perfectly bounced off this previous line of support that is now acted as resistance. Yesterday we did break above it, but actually if we were on 4-hour candles, you guys can see this, we actually didn't close a 4-hour above it, which is kind of my short-term tell. Just a lot of you guys know that, but when I'm trying to dictate short-term direction, 4-hour closures, like closures of the 4-hour candles above or below trend lines will kind of indicate that seal of direction, okay? Didn't see that, broke above it, didn't close the 4-hour above it, so we dipped below today. We did recorrect to this previous high over here. And in all honesty, I think we're just on our way back up. We are still kind of reversing right here, still setting a series of higher highs and higher lows. High, low, higher high. I imagine we're going to be setting a higher low, even if we do see a little bit of downside tomorrow. I still think we're going to be on our way up over the coming weeks. Where I just happen to drill this price target, this is completely random. I don't know. It's about 2 weeks out on August 11th. I think that at some point we will break into this previous ascending channel that Lucid was in. Once we break back in this, I think the top side of this channel will be tested, the overall line of resistance on this ascending channel, which would take us up to about $33. So I will just say, like, my 2-week price target for Lucid is going to be $33 or a potential 35% increase. But I do think it's pretty likely, in all honesty, that we do come up to this line and really close out the gap right here. Just kind of like this almost looks like, I'm not even going to say this is a head and shoulders pattern, but like an inverse spider pattern, just because there's so much going on here. There's a lot of shoulders here, but it does look like we're just going to come cup up. I wouldn't be surprised if we close the gap as well, which again, like I've showed you guys, this gap is the gnarliest gap I've ever seen probably on any chart. Huge gap, but the base of this gap is at about $35, 35 bucks, nice psychological even right there, which from current levels is a 42% increase. If we break 40, I've been saying this a lot, if 35 is good. If we break, just to play it safe, like, I mean, even if, in all honesty, if we break 35, 36 bucks, we're pretty much in blue sky territory from a technical perspective, just because there's no ceiling or floor for the most part around here in terms of like hard closes. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it. I would say like 2-week price target for Lucid is a potential 30-40% gain. And again, just stay tuned, guys. We will definitely be covering this over the course of what I hope is some very impressive price action. All right, let's move on to good old Tesla. Again, it's been a while since we've covered TSLA. Tesla. I will kick it out with the bullish, and then we'll talk about the bearish after the bullish, okay? So a lot of you guys, look at the purple. You guys know what that is, and this is looking pretty textbook. Let's kick it off with earnings first, though. Key points. Elon Musk's electric vehicle company beat expectations on both top and bottom lines and passed $1 billion in quarterly net income for the first time. The company reported $23 million impairment related to Bitcoin. Of course, they got to throw Bitcoin under the bus real quick. Just get the clickable headline. I mean, it's not in the headline, I guess, but key points. Got to get those clickable key points, get people reading, all right? Tesla reported second quarter earnings after the bell Monday, and it's a beat on both the top and bottom line. Shares rose about 2% after hours. Here are the results. Earnings, $1.45 versus 98 cents per share adjusted expected, according to Refinitiv, which is, I mean, that's like a 50% beat right there, which is very, very impressive. Revenue, $11.96 billion versus $11.3 billion expected, according to Refinitiv. Again, very, very impressive beat there as well. The company reported $1.14 billion in net income for the quarter, the first time it has surpassed $1 billion. Very congrats. In the year-ago quarter, just 1 year ago, the quarter a year ago, Q2 of 2020, net income amounted to $104 million. Again, tenfold or a cool 10x year over year. That's insane, you guys. I don't know, like, and that speaks to if you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, and similar to Neo, I've been following Tesla for a very long time. I've been trading the EV market for a very long time, and Tesla is to EVs what Bitcoin is, of course, to crypto. So Tesla, I've been, of course, following Tesla pretty closely for a very long time because I love the EV market from just like a fundamental perspective. I like this sector a lot. Okay, so Tesla in the past many times, especially in this area over here, it's almost objectively overvalued. Tesla's PE, even after today, is standing at, what's their PE, price to earnings ratio, at 650. Okay, so I get it. Tesla is not a car company. It's not a car company straight up. That's not even an argument. That's an objective truth. Tesla isn't a car company. They're a technology company. There's so many other legs of Tesla that moving into the future will be far more valuable than just the physical cars that they're selling at the moment. Okay, I understand that. But still, a 650 PE, when historically, like a 15 PE, which is the price to earnings ratio, is fair value, is considered fair value. Even 2x that to 30, this is still 20x, over 20x a high PE, okay? So this is very, like, the price to earnings ratio is still super whack, especially for a company with a $620 billion market cap. So who am I to say if this is valued or not? Again, as I just said in the beginning, we live in a story stock market. We're playing a lot of, like, some people, when they're thinking about Tesla, they're playing on Mars like 50 years in the future, and like all the boring companies, SpaceX merges into Tesla. Tesla's powering Mars, and that's like kind of what's valued in at this point, in all honesty, even after the correction. But from a technical perspective, because value is just kind of whack right now, and there's no way to actually determine true value with all the different weird factors that are in play at the moment, let's just talk technicals, okay? So again, daily candles, we are in a massive Bullish flag, okay? So parabolic move up followed by a descending triangle. These purple lines that you can see right here, this is printing a huge bull flag, and a pretty textbook bull flag at that. So this bull flag is likely to be resolved pretty soon, going off some of these lines. I don't think it's likely that we come all the way down here. It's of course possible that we come down here, which would elongate this bull flag significantly. But if I'm being completely honest, there's a lot of touch points right here. This area around 590, 600 bucks seems to act as a pretty solid floor for Tesla. They just beat earnings. The fundamentals are on their side at the moment, and I think that this bull flag will ultimately be resolved to the upside. Again, this is speaking solely from a technical perspective. Tesla obviously has the load of traders behind it, so technicals mean a lot. Similar to Bitcoin, there's so many traders involved with this stock that technicals really are strong with this one. Technicals are strong with this one, okay? So if this resolves, it rarely resolves at the very tip, so I will just go here. I think this will be resolved by mid-August, okay? So maybe we do see a little more downside just to finish off this bull flag. Tesla, from a short-term perspective, is also in a short-term downtrend. Touch point here, touch point here, touch point here, creating the line of resistance on the current short-term downtrend. If that's broken, then I think it's very likely we'll come up to test this cyan line right here, which is where the targets are on longer term. That is Tesla's previous line of support, will act as new resistance, and support. Previous support acts as new resistance, acted as resistance up here. If Tesla does break the short-term line of resistance, I think it's very likely that we will come up here to test this at the very least. If this happens by mid-August, if we do see some upside by mid-August and actually see a breakout, this could take Tesla up to like 750, okay? And at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if, especially if we break back above this, that if we just start to head higher, okay? Because again, you guys, right now with, again, all the fundamental tailwinds behind EVs, so much money flowing into EV infrastructure, I'm very bullish on the sector from a fundamental perspective. And again, you guys know that, but I just want to make that very clear. I'm not, even if the short term is a little bit unclear, even if we do see a little bit of short-term downside, the medium to long term, like for the remainder of 2021, I'm very bullish on the entirety of the sector. Very. Okay, that's Tesla. Let's talk some NIO and some Chinese stocks. So again, you guys, this is not only important for Chinese EV companies, but if you guys have any involvement in any Chinese companies trading on the US equity markets. What happened? Shares of three prominent Chinese electric vehicle makers, NIO, XPeng, and Li, were trading sharply lower on Tuesday on growing concerns about the Chinese government's ongoing actions to restrict technology companies. Here's where things stood as of 10:45. NIO, all these pullbacks right here, you guys can just read those. Significant, pretty stark corrections. And again, if you guys are trading these, you would already know that. But so what? there was no major company-specific or sector-specific news pushing these company stocks lower. It appears that all we're dropping is a part of a broader sell-off of U.S.-listed shares of Chinese technology companies. Earlier this month, China's government said it'll launch cybersecurity reviews on a number of companies that have listed on the U.S. stock exchanges in 2021, including ride-hailing giant DiDi Global, huge story, I'm sure many of you heard about that, online job listing platform Kanjin, and Full Truck Alliance, which provides services similar to ride-sharing for the trucking industry. It's not completely clear what the Chinese government's goal is here, hence the uncertainty that is putting on the pressures of shares of NIO, Li, and XPeng. But it's worth noting that DiDi, Kanjin, and Full Truck Alliance are consumer-facing online platforms, businesses that are very different from building and selling electric vehicles. Okay, so keep that in mind, you guys. Again, there's just a lot of uncertainty surrounding what China is trying to do here. I don't know. China, you guys know, is objectively a communist party. That's why they're called the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. So they can kind of do whatever they want, and it's sketch that they are implementing this many regulations and this many hurdles on their own companies, because it's very, very self-destructive in a sense. So me personally, I don't feel comfortable holding many of these stocks right now. I'm just going to wait it out. That's why a lot of, like, even Cathie Wood sold a lot of her positions in Chinese companies, which is smart because uncertainty equals uncertain. So again, I'm not personally comfortable holding any of these. If you guys are, that's perfectly fine, of course. But just want to put this on your guys' radar. Let's take a look at the charts. Okay, so NIO, again, you guys, I want to show you this from May of 2020 to its high in January of 2011, which is just about 7 months. NIO appreciated in value 1,700%. Okay, that's insane. I've never seen in an EV company. This is a physical goods company. This is a product company. This did even better than Tesla. Okay, so in terms of being potentially overvalued, NIO is currently at a valuation of $67 billion. I will say again, similar to like Tesla, it's not just a car company. I know NIO does like some home goods, and they're kind of targeting multiple consumer-facing ventures. This is still very, very generously valued, in my opinion. What's their PE? Their PE is they don't even have a PE, probably because it's so insane. I don't even know is NIO profitable? They're not profitable. Okay, so NIO's not profitable right now. That's why they don't have a PE ratio. But I'm sure I'm not going to look into their revenues right now. That aside, let's just talk technicals, just to let you guys know what I'm thinking from a technical perspective, from a pure trade perspective. So, in my opinion, it's almost guaranteed at this point that NIO, especially again with all the negative optics surrounding Chinese equities, that NIO is going to come down here to test the overall line of support on this entire uptrend. Okay, so touch point here at the very base prior to this crazy rally we saw back in June of 2020. I'm sorry. Touch point here mid-May of this year. This would take us down to, in the short term, will probably happen by early August at the very latest, honestly. This would take us down to about $36-37 if, just to play it safe, if at this point in time, if we close below $35, if NIO does see $35, it will have officially broken overall support, and I think it's extremely, extremely likely that we will go on to play out some, like, kind of a similar bull flag. Again, just parabolic move up. You see this somewhat of a descending triangle right here. If $35 is broken, I think it's extremely likely that NIO comes down here to about $31-32, okay? So, again, not trading NIO personally, but I do just want to share with you guys my thoughts on this in the case that you are. Let's move on to Hyliion. So Hyliion, again, no news here, but they do announce earnings on August 11th, and personally, I have no obviously I have no information to validate this. No one, aside from like very insiders at Hyliion who aren't allowed to trade and give their opinions and share this information, definitely not trade on it. I just feel like Hyliion, considering it's gotten so beaten up since its high way back in like just about a year ago. When was their high? Their all-time high was September of 2020 at almost $60. Since then, Hyliion, to its low, has seen over an 85% correction. That's extremely stark, okay? And again, with all of the fundamental longer-term tailwinds, positive tailwinds, I should say, for EVs, so much funding, so much capital through these infrastructure bills flowing into EVs. Again, Hyliion produces drivetrains for trucks, okay? Trucking goods is like the backbone of the economy, right? Not the backbone of the economy, but you guys know what I mean. Like, trucking goods across the continental United States, even like in Hawaii, it's important. There's trucks everywhere. There's trucks everywhere you look. Trucks are always transporting something everywhere, all the time, 24/7. Because there are things have places to go and people to see. All right, so trucking, very important. The fact that Hyliion creates drivetrains to make either hybrid or fully electric trucks, like semi-trucks, is such an obvious play, in my opinion, that I cannot not be bullish on this company long term. Short term, it's looking pretty promising as well, just because, again, it's gotten so smoked, it's capitulated, and we are at the lower end of this short-term descending channel, and I have to believe that we're going to see some upside. So very short-term, not going to zoom out much here, but high, low. Just yesterday set a higher high. Today, higher low. I have to imagine we're on our way up to set a higher high once again, and I also imagine we're on our way up to test the top line of resistance on the short-term descending channel. Okay, so that would take us up to about $11 over the course of the next week or so if Hyliion does rip. Remember, their earnings are on August 11th. That is over here. At that point, I do think it's almost inevitable that Hyliion will break this red line, which is the overall long-term line of resistance, which once is broken, we are in a long-term technical breakout. So touch point here all the way back in November of 2020, touch point here, creating the line of resistance on this overall very, very stark downtrend. Once that is broken, Hyliion will technically be in breakout mode. I'm waiting for the day that happens, and I feel like it's coming sooner than later. So at this point, you guys, as of today, if Hyliion breaks super conservatively $12, if we see a $12 Hyliion, I think it's very, very likely that we could see, just because Hyliion spent so much time around here, it's acted as such a historical ceiling, that we could see at least a $17 to $18 Hyliion once this line of resistance is broken, which once again is this point from $12. So $12 to $18. If we see $12, I think the move to $18 will be pretty exciting. So you guys stay on your toes and get excited if you agree with me on this one, okay? So let's close out with good old alternate systems. Not really good old, kind of like backstabbing alternate systems, but if they do show us some bikes today, I'm very, very excited. I'm not going to say they backstabbed us. They just haven't been doing much, all right? They haven't even freaking updated their site yet. I know you guys are watching. Update your goddamn site, okay? Please. Let's read over this, though. Okay, so Dallas, Texas, July 23rd. Alternate Systems today confirmed a scheduled electric motorcycle pilot report to provide a comprehensive update on the pilot progress so far and an overview of what to expect going forward. The pilot report will be published next week on Thursday, July 29th, 2021. So this Thursday, a couple days, maybe tomorrow if you guys are watching this in the morning, okay? ALYI has published an overview of the pilot program, highlighting the pilot objectives. As the pilot ramps up this month, ALYI management plans to begin sharing featured moments of the pilot program in progress to include pictures and videos. Don't repost the same pictures and videos you did. I want to see pictures of multiple bikes. I want to see videos of a warehouse of bikes being manufactured. And if I do see that, as I said in the beginning, I'm flipping bullish. The pilot is expected to go on for approximately 90 days. The pilot is being conducted in conjunction with the 2000 electric motorcycle order, the fulfillment of which is being finalized with results from the pilot. Okay, I love all this. Like, again, the thing about ALYI, they're very good at releasing consistent news, but they're just reiterating the same point, the same exact points over and over again for the most part, okay? Using a lot of buzzwords, which is, common among young companies. That's okay. But the fact that they are showing pictures and videos, tangible proof of progress, is what I need to see in order for me to believe that this long-term and very, very hurtful correction is over, okay? So from ALYI's high, let's do a quick price range here. From the high at about, 20 cents to the low down here, we'll call that the low. ALYI has seen an 85% correction. A lot of us have been there for that. Short term, ALYI is in a very, very stark, very significant downtrend for the better part of a month or so now. And I do think that at the very least, from a technical perspective, I guess if you want to get technical, there's like no volume here at all, which makes technicals kind of just not matter as much. Once volume picks back up, they obviously will matter, but right now we're just waiting for that fundamental catalyst to initiate, to light the thrusters, to spark the fire underneath ALYI that will ultimately lead to more upside, okay? But say this does go well, I think ALYI could bounce up to, at least say this happens by the end of the month, July 30th, if a lot of people get bullish about this article that comes out, that would take us to at least 4 cents, okay? So 3.5 to 4 cents, you're looking at a pretty solid jump right there. But what I really am going to get excited for is if we do break this downtrend. If ALY, once again, fundamentally, if I do see if those photos and videos that they release on Thursday, hopefully they actually come through with them. If those impress me personally, if it's enough to get me bullish, obviously I'm not gonna double down, but I'll definitely go heavier on my position and increase my bag size of ALYI. And I will be very excited because I can finally start talking about it confidently again. Okay, so that's my general thoughts on ALY. Please let me know what you guys think down below about any of the plays we talked about. What your favorite play is once again in the sector. If there's a play in the EV sector that you want me to include in the future in one of these stock talks, let me know down below, and I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.